So here is where we are incorporating some permaculture principles into the landscaping around the house. So this is right behind the house, behind the kitchen. We're doing a no-till patio garden and gradually incorporating more perennials, edible plants, culinary herbs, and even some fruit trees. So up here we have a nectarine tree, and here's some bee balm that's already gone by. A whole bunch of these beautiful orange yellow tomatoes that they just reseeded from last year. So that's another thing we're doing here. And there's some oregano we planted last year. These are some chocolate tomatoes that also self-seeded from last year. And we're just letting them drape over the wall here, which looks nice, so they become kind of ornamental. And we've just been eating tons of tomatoes off here already. And there's some chives in there. Some more oregano. Another red cherry tomato mixed in with the yellow orangey one, also self-seeded. Some purple basil. Some thyme right here. And there's an eggplant that didn't do so well. The flea beetles devoured it. But there's a squash back there that grew from seed as well. A kabocha, a green kabocha. It has a nice big fruit on it. And there's some more purple basil. Sage plant. And here's a beautiful big tobacco plant. This is Nicotiana sylvestris, a forest tobacco, which has beautiful long white pendant flowers that are fragrant. And that also self-seeded. And then behind the tobacco, these beautiful yellow flowers, is a bok choy that I transplanted in the winter, actually, from a tiny little plant, and it actually survived and grew into this great plant, and I've been eating all these little leaves off of it. I didn't harvest the main plant. I'm going to collect seeds from it since it did so well here. And there's another purple basil. And then here's this really awesome pepper plant I just love, that I grew for the first time this year, called Peachadoo. And it has these awesome green yellow fruits that are very fruity tasting. It's related to like the pepadoos and piquinho type peppers. So it's hot, but has a nice fruity taste. Not super hot like habaneros or anything. And then here's another oregano plant peeking out from underneath. And back behind there we have horseradish. So more perennials with the oregano. The horseradish has been there forever. But we also planted a pear tree back here. And that's doing really well. Surrounded by tomatoes that self-seeded. There's these chennapodia, these lamb's quarters I let grow. And they reseed, and then, you know, when they come up in the spring, we like to eat the young plants in the spring. They taste really good. They're related to spinach. Over here, this beautiful flowering plant is a feverfew. So it makes a nice tea. People use it, I guess, for migraines. So it's medicinal, but it's just a beautiful flower. Makes a nice kind of chamomile tasting tea. And then down here in pots I have another eggplant, which didn't do so well. The flea beetles just devoured the eggplants over there in the clay pot. And then this is a nice pepper I grew for the first time this year, Buena Mulata. And it's got just some purple fruits on there now, but as they start out purple, but then as they ripen they turn red, and so there's different color fruits on there, and it's really nice. And here's another one of the peachadoos in a pot, and they're from Peru. Just a beautiful plant. And then up here in this pot we have, along with the sedum, another sage plant. Here's a little tomato I tried this year. What's it called? Tom Thumb or something. It's an heirloom. It's like the smallest tomato, but it's really small. It kind of got a blight here toward the end, but it's fun to grow and experiment. And then over here we got a fig tree in a pot, ginger in a pot, lemon tree in a pot. But there's our mixed planting of annuals and perennials, vegetables, herbs, and fruits, as well as a few ornamental plants and medicinal plants with the monarda at the end, and of course the salvia. So anyway, a nice way to incorporate food into landscaping too. So you could call this foodscaping or edible landscaping. And it's also something that's in a lot of permaculture designs. So creating plant communities, and by not tilling you don't disturb the microbial life and natural layering of the soil. So you just build on top. And you can see here how we're doing that. So with the horseradish, I'm just cutting off the older dead leaves and just dropping them right down onto the other stuff that's mulch. Like sheet composting, we throw our stuff right out here on the ground. There's some garlic stalks back there, old melons, a huge zucchini, corn husks, pistachio shells, onion skins. So we do, sheet composting. There's grass clippings, some dog hair. So we just throw this stuff out here. We do, like regular composting too, where you pile it up. So that's over in the other part of the garden. So we're just incorporating different techniques, trying to imitate nature, create plant communities, and work on improving the health of the soil. So there you go. Hope you found that interesting and helpful.